Doing well. Thanks for joining us and tuning in to QuaranCOFFEE with the Muses. Today, I'm going to be visiting with a very special real estate partner we have worked with for a very long time, and we appreciate him so much for being here. We have Mason Whitehead with Churchill Mortgage. Hi, Mason.
Hi there, Michelle.
Hi, how are you doing?
Doing great today.
Good. Everybody's happy? Everybody's healthy?
Everybody's happy and healthy. Been working from home, going on week number 3 now, working from home. So
yes,
we'll start crazy, but otherwise we're doing fine.
Getting very interesting for everybody, I think. Well, good. Well, I'm so glad that you joined us. Today we want to talk about, something that we have conversations about on a pretty regular basis, and that's about buying a house versus renting a house. And just kind of when the right time might be. How do we know that it's the right time as an individual, and also with regard to the market and things that are happening in our world, kind of like what we're dealing with right now. Absolutely. So can you touch a little bit on that?
Absolutely. So, obviously we talk to buyers every day, as do you, and many of them are renting right now. And one of the most common questions we get is, is it a good time to buy, first of all, and also how much more expensive is it going to be? Because a lot of people think that owning a house is so much more expensive than renting it, and it really isn't. And that's in large part because how high rents have gotten around San Antonio right now. The rental rates have gone up, 5 to 10% a year, and so that adds up in a hurry. So in most cases, people are owning a house for not much more than they're actually paying the rent right now.
Very true. We do see that, and it's once somebody gets into the nitty-gritty of it and really starts looking at the numbers and kind of talking with professionals like you and with a realtor, that's when they start seeing that really the difference between buying and selling, there's much more of an advantage, obviously, because of you own something, you're building equity, but also just in their financial situation month to month, there really can be a significant savings on a mortgage with the rates being what they are versus paying the continuously higher rent that we're seeing from year to year.
Yeah, when you own a house, once you lock into a mortgage, assuming you got a fixed rate mortgage, which we always recommend, your principal and interest payment is the same every month, every year you have that house for the life of that loan. The only thing that's going to change a little bit every year, is property taxes and insurance. Those are usually not that big of changes. And both those, or at least the taxes, are tax deductible as well. So one of the most important things we like to walk through with the clients that are buying their first house and have been renting is just how much better is it for you to own than it is to rent. So it's one of the analyses that you and I have gone through before, Michelle, is if you take the average buyer that's buying let's say a $300,000 house, if you look at that from a tax perspective, it almost always makes more sense to own than rent. Almost always. The only time I would not recommend it is if you're about to lose, you think your job's uncertain, or you're going to be moving in the next 12 to 24 months for sure. But if you own a house, you get to write off your property taxes on the house, which in San Antonio, you want to average about 2.5, 2.6% a year. Mm-hmm. So on a $300,000 house, you're writing off $7,500 a year in property taxes on your income tax returns. That's money back in your pocket.
Sure.
In addition, you get to write off the mortgage interest every year. It's tax deductible. So on, again, $300,000 house, just for round number's sake, if you put 5% down, that's over $11,000 you get to write off on your income tax returns for mortgage interest. And you may even be able to write off mortgage insurance, depending on your income level. Now, I'm not a CPA or a tax advisor, obviously, but consult your own. But just on the average person can write off about $20,000 against their income by owning versus renting. So if you're in the 25% tax bracket, that's $5,000 back in your pocket just by owning a house versus renting.
That's big.
It's huge.
Yeah, that's huge. Now, you said something that's very key, especially right now, because there is so much uncertainty with COVID-19 and the crisis that we're dealing with as a nation, as the whole world is. But you mentioned, job security, and obviously that's something that's it's at top of mind right now. But I think we're all doing what we can, and we're really working towards getting this under control and getting it contained so that this is a temporary situation. And surely, once everything kind of clears and we can move forward, these are things that people want to know about, want to learn about. They've got some downtime, so they can certainly reach out to to us at Real Estate Muses, or to you, and ask the questions and get prepared for whether it's a purchase tomorrow because they're ready for it, or maybe it's a purchase in a month or two, or down the road. But the important thing is to know that it is a good time, and renting versus buying versus renting, however you want to look at it. This is an important question, and it's really something that if they're on the fence, they've been thinking about it, now's the time to act. And certainly we, that's all great advice, and all those numbers that you just pointed out really, drive that point home. Is there anything else that you, would offer, any professional insight that you would give, or misconceptions maybe you've heard regarding the market in San Antonio, or anything you want to share?
Yeah, just again, the biggest thing is just that it's not much more expensive to own than it is to rent. Usually it's within $200 or $300 of your average rent is what you're paying on a mortgage.
And that can be a lot. $200 or $300 a month can, go a long way.
Absolutely, it's huge. Now, there are obviously some differences there. If you've been scrimping and saving, living real cheap for a while, and you're trying to buy a house, that may be different. But if you're living in a pretty nice place right now and you want to buy a house that's pretty nice, on average, you're going to be within $200 or $300 of what you're paying in rent in many cases. What I will say is, this coronavirus crisis has thrown the markets into a tailspin. So nobody wants to look at their 401k right now, for example. But depending on your time horizon, like for me, I'm not retiring for probably 30 years, right? So for me, this is a long-term play. That to me, the stock market's on sale. So it's a great time to invest, or it's a great time to buy a home, because I'm not pulling money out of retirement for sure right now because it's cheap. But if I can invest in a property right now, the benefit as buying in this market right now is that if you're buying a house at $250,000 in San Antonio, you're usually going to be one of 5 or 6 people that want to buy that house. Right now, a lot of people are staying home. So right now, there's less competition. So I would say there's a lot better opportunity to get that house now.
You're number one now.
Yes, that's right. 1 or 2 buyers right now instead of 5 or 6. So I think it's a great time to buy, as long as you plan on being in the house for a couple of years, and again, you're comfortable with your job situation. Most industries are just fine. Obviously, people getting hit the hardest right now are hospitality and food service. So I understand those people kind of pulling back a little bit right now, making sure that they're okay. But many of us that are able to work from home, if you're in military, you're safe. You're in healthcare for sure. I mean, job security there is great. Technology people, I talk to technology people all the time, and they're working from home anyway. So nothing changes there. So if you're one of those industries, take advantage of this opportunity where you're less competition for buyers. Obviously, you and your team, Michelle, do a great job of negotiating for your clients, getting the best deal possible. And now's a great opportunity to take advantage of that, I believe.
That's great advice. Again, thank you so much for being here. It's always great talking with you. I hope that we've maybe answered a couple of questions for people that are out there, but if anybody does have more questions, certainly give us a call at Real Estate Muses. We can put you in touch with Mason. We can get you the real numbers that relate to your specific situation, and really just get you on the road to home ownership. And we can do it all while still practicing social distancing, because there's a lot of new things that are out there that we're doing virtually and helping people buy homes remotely, and it's kind of amazing. But we're going full speed ahead. So if anybody needs anything, like I said, give us a call. Thank you for joining us. We hope everybody, first and foremost, is happy and healthy and being safe. And hope you all will join us again tomorrow at 3:30 for another QuaranCOFFEE with the Muses. Thanks, Mason.
Thanks, Michelle. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I think that was it.
All right. Okay, so all right.